When someone new joins your team, that first impression, it's more than just a welcome lunch. It's a huge moment, a strategic one, that can either lock in your investment in that talent or, honestly, start a countdown to them leaving. So today, we're going to dig into digital onboarding and explore the powerful return you get when you nail that first impression.
Okay, let's just start with a really direct question for every leader and HR pro listening. You know that clunky, paper-heavy process you might have? Could it be actively pushing your best new hires right out the door before they even get a chance to settle in? It's a costly question, and the stakes, well, they're probably higher than you think.
Yeah, because this is what's on the line. On average, it costs around 4,500 euros just to recruit one single employee. I mean, that's a huge investment just to find the right person, and that's before they've even logged in for day one. The absolute last thing you want is for that investment to walk away because their first week was a total mess.
So let's talk about the real cost of a bad welcome. And we're not just talking about wasted paper or a few awkward first days. The hidden costs of a poor first impression are massive, and they hit everything from your budget right through to your team's morale.
Just think about it, right? These things are all connected. That manual paperwork slog isn't just boring, it eats up hours of HR and manager time. And that pressure, it leads to a totally inconsistent experience, where one new hire feels amazing and the next one feels completely lost. The result is almost always the same. They disengage early, which just fuels that high risk of them leaving.
And believe me, that risk is very real. Get this. About a third of new employees start looking for an exit within their first 6 months if they feel like their onboarding wasn't up to scratch. A disorganized, isolating welcome sends a pretty clear message that this might not be the right place for them, and they start looking for the door almost right away.
So, how do we fix this? Well, the answer is to completely shift how we think about it. We need a digital solution, a smarter, more efficient, and a genuinely engaging way to say welcome.
So what is digital onboarding really? It's basically using technology to bring a new person into the company. Think about it. Instead of mountains of paper and endless back-to-back meetings, everything from HR forms to training modules and team intros is all handled through one central online place. The whole thing is structured, consistent, and hey, you can do it from anywhere.
I mean, the difference is night and day. You're going from something that's manual and all over the place to something that's automated and all in one spot. What used to be slow and just a bunch of admin work becomes fast and self-paced. And this is a big one. An experience that was often really isolating, especially for remote hires, becomes inclusive for everyone.
Okay, let's get into the numbers, because this is where you can really see the ROI shine. The financial payoff of going digital is about so much more than just saving a bit of money on printer ink.
Okay, just think about your poor HR team for a second. On average, they're spending about 10 hours on admin tasks for every single new hire. With a digital system, that time plummets down to just 3 hours. That's 7 hours saved for every single hire. That's time they can now spend on stuff that actually matters, like coaching and building connections, instead of chasing signatures.
And that's not all. Here's the other side of that coin. Traditionally, it can take a new employee up to 8 months to get fully productive. 8 months. With a great digital onboarding program, you can slash that down to just 2 or 3 months. It's incredible. They get the info they need way faster so they can start making a real impact sooner.
And that's what it's all about, right? When your new hires are up to speed in a fraction of the time, your company sees a return on that 4,500 euro investment months earlier. It's a direct, massive financial win.
But look, it's not just about the money and the hours saved. There's a really powerful human side to all of this. The people payoff is all about building that engagement and loyalty right from day one.
An onboarding process that just feels chaotic or lonely. It doesn't just make for a bad week. It actually makes people start to second-guess their decision to join your company at all. It actively pushes talented people away.
But when you nail it, the impact is absolutely staggering. Companies with strong, structured onboarding programs can improve their new hire retention by up to 82%. That's not a small bump. That is a game-changing improvement in keeping the talent you worked so hard to find.
This really puts that number into perspective, doesn't it? So much of your retention success is directly tied to the quality of that first experience. A great welcome just creates a powerful foundation for a long-term commitment.
And this brings us right back to where we started.
Every single time you stop a new hire from walking out that door, you avoid spending another 4,500 euros, plus all the other costs, to fill that same role all over again. Better retention is one of the most direct and powerful financial returns you can possibly get.
So the big question is, how do you actually make this happen? It's not just about buying some software, it's about building a smarter process. So let's look at the blueprint for making this work for you. Okay, so here's a simple 4-part blueprint. First, you've got to design a full 90-day plan. Don't just focus on the first week. Second, and this is so important, use automation for the paperwork so your team can focus on making real personal connections. Third, personalize the journey. A software engineer needs a different onboarding than a salesperson. And finally, always gather feedback so you can keep making the process better.
And you know, that really is the whole point of this. The technology should handle all that repetitive admin stuff. This frees up your managers and your HR team to do what they do best: connect with people, answer important questions, and make new hires feel truly welcome and supported.
So that leaves us with one final question to think about. After seeing how all this impacts time, money, productivity, and retention, you have to ask yourself, is your current onboarding process just another expense you have to get through? Or is it one of the most powerful investments you can possibly make in the future of your team?